Start game now. Commander has his scarf back on because we're hitting the slopes once again with another edition of Winter Games. Last time we did the 7800 version. This time we're going to do the NES version that was brought to us by Acclaim. It's an Epyx game, and I like the Epyx box art, which is identical pretty much to the Atari 7800 version. But this time figure skating fits, but the biathlon guy doesn't. But that's, no big deal. Let's go ahead and pop this into our Nintendo Entertainment System and find out if this one is worth the gold or not. Let's go to the game. Winter Games for the Nintendo Entertainment System came by Epyx in 1987. It's based on the 1985 Commodore 64 game. It is for 1 or 2 players alternating. It is the 1988 Winter Games, and you have been chosen to represent your country, which you get to choose. While the Commodore 64 version has 7 events, the Nintendo version has 4. Hotdogs Aerials, speed skating, figure skating, and bobsled. You can choose to compete in one of the events or all of them. You also get to type in your name and choose which country you represent. In Hotdogs Aerials, you control a skater who jumps up and does a lot of little tricks and then tries to land very quickly and perfectly. I found myself doing one faceplant after another in this event. It goes by extremely quickly and doesn't give you near enough time to have fun doing tricks. It feels like you get to do 1 or maybe 2, and that's about it. I really didn't enjoy it that much. In speed skating, you try and push left and right as quickly as possible to get your guy up to speed. There's a second person on the screen that is a computer guy, just a pace guy. He doesn't have any effect on your time. Sadly, you cannot race against another opponent even in a 2-player game. Unlike the Atari 7800 version of the game, where speed skating was more about rhythm, this one seemed to be more track and field-ish, where you just kind of try to go as quick as you can. And I found it pretty lacking. Figure skating, the event I've been waiting for, or not. While a portion of the Nutcracker Suite plays, you glide your figure skater across the ice, or if you're me, you have them constantly fall on their bottom side. This game is very complicated in this. All the directions on the D-pad, including the diagonals, represent something different. You have to use the A button to also time things, and I just had a hard time pulling off any tricks. And due to this, I basically got a score of 0, and I had no desire to ever play it again. Bobsled is probably the most enjoyable game of the lot. It is fairly simple. Basically, you go into your 2-man bobsled. When it veers one way, you push on the D-pad and the other. So if it veers to the left, you press to the right. You can also push down to slow down, but why would you want to do that in bobsled? You want to go as quickly as possible. So I don't know why they include a brake when it's all about speed, but hey, the option is there. And that is it. After you finish the game, you see your time, and that's about that. Graphically speaking, I thought the game kind of looked a little too cartoony to me. Maybe I'm used to the computer version and the 7800 version, but I really didn't like it that much. And I thought the guy at the beginning lighting the torch kind of looked like an Elvis impersonator. Musically speaking, not really a lot to talk about there. I guess the Nutcracker Suite sounded okay during figure skating, but I despise the event so much that I really didn't care. It does have some national anthems for the countries you select, so it gets bonus points for that. I thought the U.S. anthem sounded pretty good, but my favorite anthem, the Canadian anthem, musically speaking, it just sounded off, and it really left a bad taste in my mouth. And unless you're going to throw controllers at other people, this is a family-friendly game. On eBay, this is a really cheap game to get. Loose copies go for about $4 or $5, and that includes your shipping, and complete copies were $10 to $15, and for the Nintendo, that is low. Would I recommend it? You know what? It's really hard because previously I just reviewed this game on the Atari 7800 version. My favorite event, Biathlon, is not included in this event, and the other events just didn't control as well. As a matter of fact, this is one of those times where I actually totally dig the 7800 version, but I just don't like this version at all. It left such a bad taste in my mouth. I just really didn't like it. The Nintendo can do some really good games, and often it can make versions that are better than the Atari 7800, but in this case, this is all about the Atari 7800 version. So unless you're going to play the Commodore 64 version or on the Atari 7800, I'd say you should pass on Winter Games, especially on the Nintendo. So where am I going to rank it? Well, I thought about putting it dead last, but I'd rather play this than Urban Champion. However, I would definitely rather play a boring game of baseball than a boring game of figure skating any day. So overall, I'm going to say that this game is near the bottom, second to last. That's right, all the way at my number 18 slot. So winter games, avoid this one. It's amazing how a game can be so good on one system, but then turn so bad on the other. If you enjoyed videos like this, would you please click the like and subscribe button, even if you didn't like the game? And you can also follow me on Facebook or Twitter. Go to either one and search for The NoSwear Gamer. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day. I look forward to seeing you next time right here on The NoSwear Gamer, and hopefully with a much better game. Take care, everybody.